Good evening, everybody. 大家好，晚安。Good afternoon, everyone. 大家午安。My name is Heng Sure. Today is the 7th of April. It's a Monday. We're here at the virtual city of 10,000 Buddhas for the Sunday night Avatamsaka Sutra lecture. 我叫恒师，我现在是这里在澳大利亚，是4月7号，在加州4月6这是万佛圣城星期天晚上华严经十回向品的佛学讲座，欢迎各位来参加。Okay, today, Gong Jing Chao is going to request Dharma, and I will ring the bell 3 times, and we can make 3 half bows to get going, and then we'll ask Gong to request Dharma. 我先敲引磬3下，各位在自己的座位上可以寻3温磬礼，然后呢，公居士恭敬场会经法。OK， 好，再来行礼佛，1温磬，2再温磬，3温磬。好，公居士，你愿意请法，你现在可以开始。
恭请大德僧听，为此法会及一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死，离苦得乐，速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma well to teach us how to lead suffering, and attain bliss and amber and dance, and quickly realize no birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and the perfect enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi sammyao samputoshe.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi sammyao samputoshe.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. 好的，那恭敬朝感恩阿弥陀佛。Appreciate the Dharma request. Be happy to do so. And let us continue with our protocols. We will invoke spiritual presence. 我们现在殷请天龙八部护法神神、华严海会佛菩萨接近道场祝福各位。南无大方广华严经，华严海佛菩萨，南无大方广佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨，南无 佛菩萨，南无大方广大愿海佛菩萨，南无大方广大愿海会佛菩萨。One more time. We would like to respectfully acknowledge the Pomo people who practice their spiritual connections to the earth and all creation. They're in the Ukiah Valley, their ancestral lands for tens of thousands of years. Today we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and original storytellers of these lands. And we offer our respects to their elders, past, present, and those to come, and all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 就是说，我们恭敬地承认婆摩人是我们寺院所在地的传统叙事者和守护人。我们向过去、现在和未来的长者们致敬，并且向所有从来没有放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。Okay. Bell sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. Wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000界内，佛法扬万亿国中，共训其法界和平，利益报贪恼护德。Go. All right. Welcome again, everybody. Those of you who've just joined. There's 85 of us online today. I will be doing my own translation here. This is the CTDB Sunday Night Sutra Lecture, and we are continuing to investigate the practices of bodhisattvas who are in the middle of 100 versions, 100 analogies describing the sacred, the most profound, magical, pure, and universal quality of the world, with many names, called Zhenru in this case. It could also be called the Buddha nature. It could also be called the Dharma nature, the true mind, all of those different things. So there are 100 analogies lined up for the sutra's description of what Zhenru is, true suchness, and we have 21 to go, so that's where we are. 我们现在研究第8回向，菩萨在这个回向里边解释什么叫真如。真如呢是很多名字，涅槃性、佛性、法性也可以真心也都可以就是用比喻，用100个比喻，我们已经研究过，就说69个，现在还剩下79个，剩下21个我们一个一个来认识。那么同时呢有2个英语的翻译 就有我们本会翻的这个英文，还有我们一个通参一个佛友，就是恒寿法师，他翻译然后出版3册一套这个大梵广佛华严经，他也是上人的出家比丘弟子那么他翻译的英语有稍微不同，那2个都让我们有好像稍微不同方向的这个道理，这样子呢我们可以更圆满就吸收了解这个华严经的道理。We are translating now with, we're explaining with 2 English translations back to back. One is our current BTTS home team translation, and the other is by Bhikshu Heng Sure, one of Master Hua's early Bhikshu disciples whose vows to translate the sutras created this amazing result. There are 3 volumes for one set of the entire Avatamsaka, and Bhikshu Heng Sure's English translations are occasionally sufficiently different just to, like if you turn a light slightly 2 inches to the right, 2 inches to the left, you get a different perspective on the subject that you're trying to light up. In this case, the sutra. So we're looking at both our current translation and then Bhikshu Heng Sure's translation, Dharma Mitra, to get a slightly different flavor on the text, which allows us to appreciate it and to get a different take on it. Okay, that's what we're about. So let's jump right in. Here we are. Right there. Okay. Right here. Here's where we start. Ready? 譬如真如体性平等，善根回向亦复如是，获得平等一切事，照耀诸法，理诸痴意。Just as the essence of true thusness is intrinsically impartial, so too are bodhisattvas' dedication of good roots, in that they attain impartial omniscient wisdom that illuminates all phenomena, leaving the hindrance of delusion behind. Okay, is that sufficiently complex? Boy, look at the technical language here. This is real bodhisattva dharma. So just like the essence of true suchness, our topic, is by its very nature pingdang. Pingdang, impartial. Let's see here. How did... Just as the essential nature of truth, yes. So Heng Sure did the same, impartial, intrinsically impartial. The Chinese here, ping deng. The idea is that from the Buddha, through the Buddha's eyes, if you want to look at the holiest, the purest, the most sacred aspect of life and the planet, life and the world, it would be, you can give it a name, Zhenru. You could also, I haven't said this before, can we call Zhenru the Tao? Maybe this is, the Tao depends who you ask, isn't it? So a Taoist's response would be absolutely not. Confucians would have a different take on it. But it is the source of wisdom. And when you become a Buddha, this is what your mind is now in touch with fully. What is the nature of it? Ti Xing, in what it's made of and how that essence is how it behaves, how it appears, 体性. What is it? 平等. So the thing about true suchness is that it underlies all phenomena, all things that we encounter, things with shape and form and things that are formless, thoughts in the mind, for example. All of those things arise from the same source without exception, so they are 平, impartial, 等, equal. So yes, we're talking big questions in this chapter. This is Buddhist philosophy, I guess, if in the West we call these things philosophical questions, such as what's the highest good? What are things made of? Big questions like that. Says the essential nature, the deepest part of those things is that they are 平等. No difference, none higher, none lower, none more valuable, less valuable. And then it goes, bodhisattvas, when they transfer merit, are the same, which is they get 获得 to harvest, to bring back 平等一切智智, impartial omniscient wisdom. There's 2 智s here, wisdom. So total impartial wisdom, which shines on dharmas, lights up dharmas, and takes away all the things that could block out your vision of them, all kinds of cataracts or imperfections of vision, okay? Illuminates all phenomena, leaving the hindrance of delusion. Delusion. Yeah, it's more like things that cover the eye, cataracts behind. Okay. 就是说，你问，这个实在是佛教的所谓佛教的哲学，也就是说，我们为什么要用哲学这个字？在我们科学的国家，他们把所有在人生之内所有不能度量、不能衡量、不能说多重、多快、什么颜色、多大，这些问题不能问。为什么呢？因为无形的关系。所有这些无形的科学没办法测量的东西，那个就叫 philosophy， 就哲学，放在一个笼子，就是哲学的笼子，那个 basket 啊。那么好的，如果要问佛教有没有什么哲学，就说问这个问题：真如是什么体性？哦，真如的体性就平等，平等就是说没有一个高，没有一个低，等就说没有一个更重要，没有一个不重要的，都平等，都一样的，一样的，体性一样的。你如果问一切法一切法就是我们层罗万象，都是从这个东西来的，它的来源就是这个真如性。那么菩萨 OK， 那就是一方面。然后呢，来一个比喻，就说菩萨回向功德是怎么一回事呢？就跟真如的体性一样平等，他们用它来回向度众生，他们菩萨就获得平等一切智，两个智慧，一切智的智慧，一切智的智慧获得之后怎么样呢？他们就可以照料一切法，他们可以把这个智慧来上一个手电筒，照料任何的情形，任何的境界出来的任何的事情，然后理诸痴意，就说他们可以看得清楚的，看明白，看得懂 ，right？ 痴意就说眼睛眼膜上边就看不清楚了，就把那个眼膜拿掉了，看得清楚。So this character, the last 2 characters, hindrance of delusion, it's 痴，愚痴的痴 stupidity sometimes, delusion sometimes, wrong views. And E is the character for cataracts, things that cover the eyes. So stupidity is cataracts. And when you take it away, oh, you can see clearly. I just had an operation on my eyes in the last couple months so that I no longer have to wear glasses. And somebody the other day we're opening for questions. Somebody said, Dharma Master, you're not wearing glasses. What happened to your eyes? And there we go. Did you recognize me now? So these are blue glasses for a computer screen. So having removed glasses from my eyes, oh my goodness, what a feeling of liberation. To feel the wind on this upper part of my face all the time. And the quality of light is just different than looking through lenses. But old habits die hard. Yesterday was, 2 days ago was meditation class. And I sat down, crossed my legs, fixed my robe, took off my glasses. Oh, only I wasn't wearing glasses, but that habit is so strong. Every time I cross my legs, I take my glasses off to meditate. I wasn't wearing glasses, but the habit was still there. Very funny. 这个吃意也是个比喻，怎么说呢？那个眼，let's see here. What are cataracts over the eyes? 眼膜 Somebody can help me out here. Do we have who is my consultant today online? My Chinese consultant. Alan is here. Cataracts over the eyes, where you have cataract surgery, that thing. If Yihuan or someone is here who can type it in for me. I had surgery recently to remove those. So cataracts would be, let's see here, 白内障. Okay, 好，白内障。好的，白内障。白内障就会障碍你的眼睛看不清楚了。那然后你开刀，现在那个医疗的科学发达，所以他们就不但拿掉这个镜头，眼睛珠那个镜头已经黄了，老了，拿掉了，再把跟你自己的这个nearsighted farsighted 调和，就再放人造的一个镜头放在里边，哇，现在就不戴眼镜也可以看得清清楚楚。2020 20度比20度就恢复这个出生那个时候这个好的这种的这个眼力哈视力。So 不过奇怪哈，就说前天教那个打坐的课程，把腿子盘起来，把那个衣服就起来就好了。然后呢，右手就把眼镜拿掉了。可是呢，不戴眼镜那个老习惯，每次打坐盘腿就把眼镜还是没有了 ，OK， 还没，因为比较新的，只有几个月而已。不过不戴这个眼镜，不用那些镜头来看东西呢，真的是一种解放啊 ，very nice。所以呢，这个是个比喻，菩萨呢，他们用一切智智照料诸法，任何情形起来了，他们现在就用智慧看得清楚了，知道怎么办解决众生的问题，方便智慧。现在100分，就哪一个方便法，众生都会接受，都会用它来开自己的智慧，立住持意。OK，next one, here we go. 譬如真如超诸数量，善根回向亦复如是。于超数量一切智胜，大力法藏而同止住。心遍十方一切世界广大法蕴。 Okay. Just as true suchness is beyond all measure, so too are Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots, in that it abides together with the vehicle of measureless omniscient wisdom, the Dharma treasury of great strength, to summon vast Dharma clouds that cover over the worlds throughout the 10 directions. This is really literary, imaginative transferences. Heng Sure Fashi says, just as true suchness transcends all measurement, so too it is with Bodhisattva's dedications of roots of goodness. For they, here we go, abide together with the immensely powerful, measurement transcending Dharma treasury of the vehicle of all knowledge, and spread the vast rain cloud of Dharma throughout all worlds of the 10 directions. Okay. He put the ideas together. So here are, there seems to be a list of concepts here that you might think have no particular internal relationship. Let me show you what they are. Shangan Hui Shang Yi Farusha. Okay. So first of all, true suchness goes over, transcends, goes beyond measuring. Shu Liang is just how you measure things. Chao Zhu goes over all things that you can measure. That's what true suchness does. Bodhisattvas, when they dedicate merit, they do the same, which is what? Yu Chao Shu Liang Yi Qie Zhi Sheng, along with, together with, measurement transcending the vehicle of omniscience that transcends all measure, comma, that's an idea, hold that thought. Big strength Dharma treasury, got that thought? Live together, become roommates, live together. And hold that thought. They lift up, the verb here is to xing, to raise up, covering all directions in all worlds, vast great clouds of Dharma. So we've got clouds of Dharma that cover the worlds. We've got roommates, bodhisattvas who live together with the huge strength, hugely strong Dharma treasury, and travel on the vehicle of omniscience that defies measuring. Got it? That's a complex idea. Now, all of the contents of the 10 Transferences chapter, and let's see here, how many pages in, let's see here, 10 Transferences. 10 Transferences, 583. So roughly 320 pages. This is a large chapter. In this book, it's 320 pages, a single chapter. Here we go. All of the contents of those 320 pages arise from one single thought, which is, I've cultivated merit and virtue and blessings and good roots. I want to give them away. How will I do it? 300 pages of how bodhisattvas dedicate merit. Sometimes they're simple. Sometimes they are really complex, like this one. Look at all of the poetry. No, it's just the imagination. How crafted this is. So what's it like? First of all, true suchness defies shu liang, enumeration. Can't count it. No way to count it up, know how much there is. Bodhisattvas, when they dedicate merit, are the same. How are they the same? Let's go from the end. They raise up huge clouds of Dharma that cover the world. Furthermore, they tong zhi zhu, they live with, together, tong zhi zhu, with a huge Dharma storehouse that is massively strong. Treasury of Dharma that's massively strong. Da Li, great strength, Dharma treasury. There you go. Furthermore, they do this on a vehicle that embodies omniscience and defies calculation. Okay, there you go, right? That's a transference vow. What's a simple one? I dedicate my merit so that all beings become Buddhas together. Simple, okay? You could also have great strength Dharma treasuries living together on the vehicle of absolutely immeasurable, omniscient vehicle that raises up clouds of Dharma and covers all worlds in all 10 directions. How did you transfer last time? 就说菩萨，那个我刚刚把这个华严经，就是恒寿法师那个 Kalavinka 嘉陵拼切出版社，就是恒寿法师他出版的3册一套华严经英文翻译，这个是第1册，有释回上品在内，是那个释回上品，你看他写的比较密啊，很多每一个页很多字，多少页呢？300多页，一品释回上品。那个释回上品，我们现在讲到第8回向，释回上品每一个回向是从同一个地方来的，什么地方？菩萨有功德，菩萨有善根，然后就说我愿意布施，我自己不愿意一个人舍受接受这个好处，好处我愿意布施给人家，所以我就回向300页，那么精密的。每一个都是，你看，哇哦，很多，right？ 都是从菩萨的心。那么，菩萨的心呢，创造性好厉害。你看，你回向功德，我问大家，我们今天讲完了，听完了经，都要给大家机会一起回向。你的回向愿是怎么？你要怎么回向呢？你简单来讲，你可以说：“我济诸众生，皆功成佛道。”很好，很圆满。或者呢，你可以说：“譬如真如超诸数量，善根回向，亦复如是。于超数量一切至圣，大力法藏而通之。”助心变释放一切世界广大法运法，这复杂，很精巧，很微妙一种心能创造这么一个愿啊，是不是 ？Yeah, okay, that's a Bodhisattva's transference wish. Big. Here we go. Next one. 譬如真如平等安住善根回向亦复如是，发生一切诸菩萨恒平等住于一切之道。Just as true suchness dwells peacefully in equality, so too does their dedication of good roots, in that it brings about bodhisattva practices which equally abide in the path of omniscient wisdom. Okay. just as true suchness securely abides in uniform equality, so too is it with bodhisattvas' dedications of roots of goodness, for they initiate all the bodhisattva practices and equally abide in the path of all knowledge. Okay, what happens here? We've got pingdang back, level, equal, impartial. Anju, live in peace, peacefully abide. Literally, peaceful living. Bodhisattvas, when they dedicate merit and virtue, are the same in that dedication brings about bodhisattva practices, which themselves equally abide in the path of omniscient wisdom. Key here, what do you suppose the path of omniscient wisdom is? It's full of bodhisattva practices which are neither higher nor lower, for sure. The path of omniscient wisdom certainly has no greed in it. Certainly never uses profanity in ordinary language, ordinary speech. Certainly does a lot of listening instead of talking, particularly about oneself. All of those are aspects of the path of omniscient wisdom, and that path is not apart from everyday life. It's right in the decisions that we make every day where that omniscient wisdom's path shines. And all of those bodhisattva practices, which are neither high nor low, show up when needed in turn. Yeah. What do they say? As we do any single thing, so do we do all things. The quality of character that appears in just how we behave at breakfast, whether we eat alone in an apartment or whether we live in a family or with a community. How do we conduct ourselves vis-a-vis the plates and chopsticks and silverware that I used today to eat? Did I just drop it in the sink and walk away? Or did I put on an apron and wash everybody's dishes because of the opportunity it presents to serve? So how we do any one thing is how we do all things. And all that is where we see the path of omniscient wisdom for sure. And bodhisattva practices appear as is appropriate right there. 就说那个平等又来了，怎么样呢？真如就平等安住，怎么会呢？菩萨上根会相，亦复如是，就一样的，就说都会发生一切诸菩萨行。什么时候会发生诸菩萨行呢？就是在日用伦常的活动行为当中就会看得出，不是说哇就在涅槃山呢才能看到诸菩萨行，就在因病待客啊，就说我们就会看到一切之道。哪里可以看到一切之道啊？有话说，你任何的行为，无论你做什么，在一种行为都会看到你对于所有的行为的态度和为人都会看得到。就说今天吃早餐用的碗子、筷子、杯子，你怎么处理呢？你是不是吃完了就把它们放在那个洗碟子盘就走开，有没有？或者呢，你就不但自己的盘子碗都洗得干净，而且呢，你就洗你弟弟哥哥 姐姐妹妹、爸爸妈妈的盘子碗，就替人家做这个普通事情。洗手间什么时候洗得干净呢？或者让旁人做呢？或者你自己乘机会，如果在这种的普普通通的行为当中，你就乘机会来服务人家，服务你的家庭，或者你一个人，就经常会打扫干净你自己的疗房，自己的房子，你都会看到你这个一切知道的态度。Okay, so really true, really true. Next one. 譬如真如遍住一切住中生界，善根回向亦复如是，满足无碍一切智一切种智，欲中生界悉现在前。Very interesting. Wow. Just as true suchness is present throughout all the realms of living beings, so too are Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots, in that Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots fulfills unobstructed omniscient wisdom and is present throughout all the realms of living beings. Okay, the key word here is fulfills wisdom. The Chinese was 满足. What does it fulfill? 无碍一切种智. Wow, that is a Buddhist technical term if I've ever seen it. Here we go. Just as true suchness pervasively abides throughout all realms of beings, so too it is with Bodhisattva's dedication of roots of goodness, for they bring about the complete fulfillment of the unimpeded knowledge of all modes and appear before all those throughout all realms of beings. And appear before all those throughout all realms of being. Those living appear. Okay, here's another verb. So, 满足 and 现在前. 悉现在前. Okay. 譬如真如. Okay. Let's do the Chinese here. Bodhisattvas, so the topic for the first analogy, we got two analogies here. What is Zhenru like, and then what is living beings transference like? What are Bodhisattvas transference like? First one is Zhenru, true suchness, lives, 变住. That's the word right there, 住. Got it here, 住. We had it up above too. Okay. Zhenru, what does it do? It 变住, the modifier is everywhere, pervasively, thoroughly, on all sides, abides in where? Living beings' realms. That's what Zhenru does. Living beings' realms. 十法界不离一念心. So living beings in the Shurangama Sutra, there are 25 different kinds of living beings, 25 different realms. If we talk about the Dharma realms, there are 10. Everybody know them? Is this time to rehearse the 10 Dharma realms? Quiz. Okay, get out your test booklets. Don't look at your neighbor's answers. Okay, what are the 10 Dharma realms where living beings actually is not a, can't ask it that way. There are 6 Dharma realms where living beings are living beings. Then there are 4 where sages live. Living beings have been transformed into sages. So what are they? Go from the bottom. There are 3 and 3. 3 evil destinies of woe, 3 paths of grief. Then there are 3 that are less grievous. So from the bottom, hells, ghosts, animals. Not desirable, painful, nasty, brutish, short lives. But above, once you leave San E Dao, the 3 evil destinies, then you have humans, and then this curious one called Asuras, Titans, then the realm of Devas, where life is better, more blessings, but not ultimate. So 6, what else? 4 realms where sages live. Samsara is not part of their lives, except for the Arhat phase. What are they? There's Arhats, there are Pratyeka Buddhas, there are Bodhisattvas, and then there are Buddhas. So are Arhats still living beings? That's the question. This is what started us out here. 众生界, 一切众生界. So you can be first, second, third, fourth stage Arhats, and they do undergo rebirth. First 3 are reborn again, but less and less and less. Some have 7 rebirths, some have 1 rebirth. Some do not return again, and then there are complete Arhats. So at that point, how many living beings are left? Well, in each individual Arhat unit, different opinions. Theravada doesn't acknowledge anything beyond them. But then you get to Pratyeka Buddhas, who are they're Pratyeka Buddhas, beautiful, yeah. If I had to take my own quiz and say, are Pratyeka Buddhas reborn by choice? When you get to Bodhisattvas, you have to start over, because the answer is yes, they are, but it's not by karma, it's by vows. And then Buddhas, no further. Right? There's no living beings. They're Buddhas already. They're awake. So, good question. Let me translate this. 这个一切众生界，我们是不是讲十法界六梵四圣，或者呢，我们是讲这个25种众生界，或者呢，我们就讲这个六梵四圣，还是十法界？这个是怎么讲呢？就说大家知道哈，用不用再说一遍吗？这个如果是十法界不离念心，我们知道有三恶道，有三善道。三恶道，地狱、恶鬼、畜生，就这个很苦生命很短，而且很烦恼、很苦恼那么离开三恶道，有三善道，就人法界，还有阿修罗法界，还有天人法界那么那个还可以，不过呢还无常，还在轮回当中。离开六道轮回的话，还有四圣罗汉、辟支佛、菩萨、佛。那个四圣道有那个罗汉呢，还算不算众生呢？因为有七种的生命还要回来，不苦不过回来。然后呢，有一个what the single returner, once returner， 还有 never returner， 还有罗汉。他们算不算众生？还没到四果阿罗汉不？可能有不同的讲法。然后呢，辟支佛菩萨到佛法界的话，第10个四圣，这个最高的那不是众生。所以呢，有这么一个说法，就说所有众生遍住一切诸众生界，应该是六梵吧，这么说那么真如遍住一切众生界，善根回向呢就一样的，菩萨在回向功德呢，满足无碍一切众智，然后呢，在一切众生界呢现在前，这是菩萨回向功德就有这么一个方位，这么一个功用。Okay, so the the power of Bodhisattva's dedication is that it, just like true suchness, which is in all realms of living beings, Bodhisattva's dedication fulfills unobstructed omniscient wisdom, and you can find it everywhere. That's how powerful their dedication is. Kalavinka says, when bodhisattvas dedicate merit, they bring about the complete fulfillment of the unimpeded knowledge of all modes, and furthermore, the dedication appears before all beings in all realms. All right? Okay. Let's see here. How are we doing? Okay, there we go. 譬如真如无有分别，普住一切因生之中，上根回向亦复如是，具足一切诸言因智，能普示现种种言因开示众生。Just as true suchness is non-discriminating and present within the wisdom of all sounds, so too is their dedication of good roots, in that they perfect the wisdom of all words and languages, appearing everywhere to teach living beings with various words and languages. Beautiful. Just as true suchness remains free from all discriminations, even as it everywhere abides in the knowledge of all sounds. Okay? So too it is with Bodhisattva's dedication to roots of goodness, for they possess the knowledge of speech and are able to everywhere manifest all different kinds of speech to provide instruction to beings. Yeah. Very neat. So what does in the Shurangama Sutra, the Buddha says, in this realm, the substance of teaching appears in sounds. 此土真教体 So what does that mean? It's how do you learn stuff? Mostly through our ears. People tell us things. We hear things. Some of our knowledge comes through our eyes. So that would be visual knowledge, visual learners. And sometimes we just imitate. Monkey see, monkey do. But Qingjing Za Yinwen, the Buddha says mostly the Zhenjiaoti, how we learn things, comes through the medium of sound, our ears. So bodhisattvas know that, and they perfect the wisdom of all words and languages, appearing everywhere to teach living beings with various words and languages. I am surrounded here twice a day by visual learners, birds, large white birds often, and some not so large birds. Some of those birds look just like this. This is actually a magpie. Hello there. Nice to see you. So the birds, they can't hear me, although when I feed them, I say Namo Amitofo a lot, and also the 7 Tathagata names, Dobao Rulai, Baosheng Rulai, etc. I really wish I could speak bird, or they could understand my English, but instead, their eyes are on me, and birds, a lot of their survival depends on quickness and speed. So I can tell the subtle, almost before I move, the birds are reacting because their eyes are so quick, and their eyes are on both sides of their head. So they have this. So here is an eye, and here is an eye, right? They're not in the front like our eyes are in the front, but birds' eyes are in the side. So they have this stereoscopic ability to see what's going on and react instantly. And mostly it has to do with food and also any threat. So if I deliver food with my hands, so the birds have their eyes on my hands. Am I carrying sunflower seeds or veggie ham to toss, or a cracker to toss to them? And I can just see their eyes as they focus. It's like camera lenses. The eyes are going calculating how much they're going to get from what I'm bringing out, and whether I've got a stick in my hand or anything that's going to harm them. They're visual learners, clearly. They make sounds, but the sounds are limited to in terms of vocabulary and syntax and all. And yet I hear certain patterns repeated in the sounds they make. So bodhisattvas, can you imagine having the bodhisattvas, what the mind of the bodhisattva must be like to be able to teach living beings with various words and languages, to have wisdom of all words and language. How incredible that must be. 菩萨他们有种种原因，就说具足一切诸原因智。那个楞严经呢，就说此土真教体清净在因闻。佛陀就说，我们在这个娑婆世界，多数呢要开示众生，要教众生用说的话，用语言，就说我们听就知道了。不是全部，有的时候你要示范，用眼睛来看；多数呢，用耳朵来听。上课、读书，很多就是用耳朵语言。我每天2次，现在我住在一个树林子里边，所以呢，来的巧鸟很多很多，大的、小的都有，有的就像这个 magpie 那么这些鸟啊，它们的眼睛是在它们的头的两边，我们的眼睛都在前边，它们不是，它们是左边右边，有 stereo 这种的视力，他们非常注意我的手，我出来了，他们那些鸟，我看看他们的眼睛就跑到我的手里拿着什么食物，有没有 bird seed， 有没有饼干，有没有这个葡萄干呢，喂给他们什么的，他们就马上就一下就知道他们会拿到多少，知道有多少鸟在两边我有没有武器，我会不会害他们，他们看了快的不得了就知道了，我看他们的眼睛就大小的就这样子通就可以知道，因为鸟啊，它们有一个生存的方法是什么？速度，它们要快捷，就要跑，就可以避免所有的危险所以眼睛就很快，他们才没有跟佛陀的这个清净的因闻这种道理他们会出声就有一些他们里边的一些话，不过我为这个 birdseed 给他们听，我就希望我可以像菩萨这样子，就普能实现种种原因，我就每天喂给他们，我就南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，或者那个七如来圣号，南无多宝如来，南无宝生如来，他们听得到，应该说那个实心里边都会听得到。可是呢，他们 不知道好处啊，我没有这种的功夫能开示众生，可惜啊，将来他们来生都可以来听佛法，希望如此。So 菩萨有这种的种种原因能力，哇，就说原因是太微妙。So when bodhisattvas have this wisdom of language, oh, how wonderful. 譬如真如永离世间，善根会上以复如是，普使众生永出世间。Just as true suchness is forever apart from the world, so too are bodhisattvas' dedication of good roots, in that they lead all living beings to forever transcend the world. Just as true suchness forever transcends the world, so too it is with bodhisattvas' dedication of roots of goodness. They everywhere enable beings to forever transcend the world. Hope so. 譬如真如体性广大，善根会上亦复如是，悉能受持去来今世广大佛法，恒不忘失，勤修一切菩萨诸行。Just as the essence of true suchness is intrinsically vast, so too are bodhisattvas' dedication of good roots, in that they uphold and never forget the vast expansive Buddha Dharma of the past, present, and future, while diligently cultivating bodhisattva practices. Just as the nature of true suchness is vast, so too it is with bodhisattvas' dedications of roots of goodness, for they're able to absorb and preserve. Look at those verbs. Absorb and preserve, uphold and never forget. Okay. Absorb and preserve all the vast dharma of the Buddhas of the past, the future, and the present, and never forget them, as they enable the diligent cultivation of the practices of all bodhisattvas. So, about absorbing and preserving, we have I'm saying we, there's 116 of us online. As I look through here, okay, I'm looking at who's here with us today. A few, there is a handful of folks who actually heard and saw Master Shenhua, our teacher, explain the Dharma and the kind of things he talked about. Yeah, there's actually quite a few of us here. And Shifu was speaking in Chinese to mostly Western young people, young adults. So for many of us, the Dharma that we heard, the vast expansive Buddha Dharma, the past, present, and future, came through translation, which was still in a fairly rough, we couldn't speak Chinese when we got there. So we had to learn, we heard the Chinese and the Dharma at the same time. So there was such a sense of being with the teacher for 90 minutes every night. The Shifu, by insisting that we listen to sutras for 90 minutes every night, twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday, that was prime time with the teacher. He was talking with the Buddha's voice. We were hearing the Buddha's voice coming through Shifu's instructions and interpretation. We had his attention. He had our attention for that long every night. So the things that we heard the Buddha's voice, but we heard Shifu's emphasis and his illustrations of the principles of the various sutras and teachings. So the biggest surprise for me was how those teachings had to do with character. They had to do with who I was as a person, and reminding me that I did a pretty rotten job of being a person, because I didn't know. I was 20 years old, 21 years old, 22 years old. I just didn't know. And I had been raised in a society that valued rugged individualism. I was trained that I was in the center of the world and my consumer decisions were the most important thing. Which products I bought, that's what I was trained to do, was to make the best consumer decisions between tires and kinds of beer and baseball teams and automobiles and music, songs and bands, all the things that my radio and my television brought to my eyes and ears. That's what I was trained to do. And of course, as a consumer, you're in the middle. Shifu talked about the Dharma that just demolished those ideas, just said that is marketplace, that is greed, anger, and delusion. It's fighting based on fighting, greed, seeking selfishness, self-benefit, and dishonesty mostly. He said that's the marketplace. Let's look at the way place values. No contention, no greed, transform it, be generous, yield, be generous, be content, be unselfish, share, be honest. Those are the things we heard over and over and over. And a lot of it just bounced off because we had all kinds of bad habits that our minds were often less than clear, you could say. But somehow when it comes from a true Shanzhishi, when it comes from a bodhisattva, like the sutras here describing, some of it sunk in. And maybe it's the children that our families raised, or it's those of us who get a chance to repeat Shifu's teachings, and those who hear that. Maybe that's the past, present, and future of those fundamental teachings that keep it alive. Now, diligently cultivating bodhisattva practices, we'll see. And that's not the same for everyone. There's 84,000 of them. Sometimes it can be cooking. Sometimes it can be translating. Sometimes it can be just teaching school, or how we interact with each other, the kindness that we bring, and the refusal to be selfish and greedy and mean, that we carry the Dharma on. So anyway, when you hear it from a good advisor, the vast expansive Buddha Dharma, the past, present, and future, can be conveyed in a gesture, in a glance, or it can just be 90 minutes of talk. But it requires we living beings to hear it and remember it, uphold it and never forget it. So what a blessing to have this in our lives. 就说你有一个真正的善知识在那儿讲解解释佛法给你听，有两方面，有两半。第一呢是善知识在用方便法来讲，可是呢他讲的再好，我们不愿意听，或者呢头脑就不清楚，所以听不进去，那就说我们会不会恒不忘失，勤修一切这个就是希能受持去来今世广大佛法，能受持多少？商人在每天讲经说法90分钟，没有错，每天星期六、星期天2次，那个90分钟，我们有师父的注意力，师父有我们的注意力，我们在那儿听，他在那儿讲，然后我们翻译不会中文的，像我们是在那儿学习中文的，所以呢，当然我们没有100分的听到100分的师父讲的价值，那个好像那个佛法的开始有一部分进去，然后呢，我们年轻人啦，哎呀，就心里很散乱，所以有没有听到多少？ 有多少？师父在那儿讲的不是空即是色，色即是空，多数呢是我们为人要改掉自己的习气毛病，修道的人尽量的不能错因果，这样子，师父都会讲这个。最多是什么？他会讲不争、不贪、不求、不自私、不自利、不达妄语，六大宗旨，就是我们为人的一些基本的道理。为什么呢？我们是从那个热闹市场出来的，每天看电视，电视的广告告诉我们，我们爱惜自由的、过分自由的美国人，就你在中间，一切的世界在那儿服务你。这种的看法是从市场来的，在这个市场里边呢，还没到道场之前，我们就是要争、要谈、要求、要自私、要自利，讲妄语，叫我们出钱买货，就是这个，这是一种颠倒的看法，对不对？所以呢，师父讲那个六大宗旨是把我们不争、让而不争，把这个争心破了。让而不争，不施而不贪，就不是一切都为我，我要多多多，就是我要多少，我要布施，那是快乐。然后呢，无所求，知足常乐，破这个有所求的这种市场的我去年的不好，要今年的要买才满意，这是颠倒，这是烦恼的一个根本。然后呢，就说不自私，要大公无私，服务就才快乐自利呢分享，不自利分享这个市场就是一切为我然后呢，就那个货真的是最好的吗？不见得，就是一种手段，让我们出钱买。所以呢，在道场里边用不争、不贪、不求、不自私、不自利、妄语这种心就没有烦恼，这是在道场的修行的一个基本的原则。即使我们会听师父在讲，去来今世广大佛法，就是这个然后就是为人的根本，就是第一步是什么？戒，然后呢才有定，然后呢才有慧。那就看我们能不能恒不忘失，然后尽修一切菩萨诸行。那所以呢，这个我们不要好高骛远就是普普通通的每一天生活当中，那就是真正的这个广大佛法，我们能不能受持？譬如真如无有间隙，善根回向亦复如是。唯有安处一切众生，与大智地与一切劫，修菩萨行无有间隙。Last one, just as true suchness never ceases, neither do bodhisattvas' dedication of good roots. They ceaselessly cultivate bodhisattva practices throughout eons to firmly establish living beings on the ground of great wisdom. Beautiful. Just as true suchness never rests for a moment. Yeah, that's well said. So too, Bodhisattva's dedication of good roots of goodness. 4, wanting to establish all beings on the grounds of great wisdom. Heng Sure reversed the order here. Wanting to establish all living beings on the grounds of great wisdom, they incessantly enable cultivation of the Bodhisattva practices throughout all kalpas. That's why the Avatamsaka Sutra is so inspiring. That's why we come back time after time and find out how real bodhisattvas do it. Okay. We have an amazing story today. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to save that chat. There we go. Take a look. 今天的故事， Okay, we heard about the monk who he asked an arhat to take him up to the Tushita heaven so he could personally look at Maitreya. And he saw Maitreya, in his interpretation, was looking like a lay person, he said. And this monk was so full of himself that 3 times he refused to bow to Maitreya. And he was a Mahayana monk, but he retreated to the view of the Theravada. And he wrote a Shastra, which was pretty good. And Master Shenzong read it. He liked it. But this teacher, Sanghabhadra, wanted to meet Vasubandhu Bodhisattva, never could. Strange story, huh? It's just what an interesting character this guy is. 就说我们知道有一个叫let's see, 正贤法师是从大乘退于小乘，然后他想见到弥勒菩萨，有办法到了兜率陀天内院里边3次。他认为弥勒菩萨像一个在家人，不顶礼给他，他是堂一个比丘，哎呦，比丘不会这样子，就摆架子，结果呢失去机会啊。他回来，他写一篇文章，玄奘大师看了，他说：“哎，这不错了，有道理。”那么这个桑格巴德法师，他最要见到那个我说不是玄奘大师读的，就是世亲菩萨读到这篇文章说还不错。可是呢，桑格巴德没办法看到瓦苏班杜。OK， 可是呢，留下一个宝塔。这个宝塔就在，所以玄奘大师来了，他听到这个故事。Okay, here we are. This story, amazing story. 灵彻又有速度波，是毗摩罗蜜多罗，论师一身处，论师家是弥罗国人，语说一切有部出家，有无印度。学穷三藏，将归本国，图次众贤之塔，悲其著述为之咸阳，演变世末。By the side of the mango grove was another stupa built for the remains of another Shastra master, Vimala Mitra, like Kalyana Mitra, right? Vimala Mitra, friend. He was a native of Kashmir, where Master Shenzong stayed for a while. He became a monk of the Sarvastivada and Theravada school. He traveled through the 5 different countries of India, studied the Tripitaka. He got to Sanghabhadra, the one who refused to bow, on his way returning to his own country, and he felt sorry that the Shastra master died before his work got popular. Okay, so, 好的, let's take a look here. So here's the story. Sanghabhadra, the monk who retreated to the Theravada and wanted to see Vasubandhu but never had a chance, and then wrote a treatise responding to Vasubandhu, died before he could ever meet the Shastra master he wanted to meet. Vasubandhu came along, read the treatise, and said, well, pretty good. And so they put a stupa there. Another monk comes along, Vimala Mitra, Shastra master, who came from Kashmir, and he saw the stupa, Sanghabhadra, and said, oh, how sad that he never got to meet Vasubandhu, and his Shastra was never made very popular. Okay. 因自是更造诸论，破大圣义，灭世亲民，使论师之旨，永传狭带，说辞语矣，心智狂乱，五舌重出，遍体血流，自知此苦， 原有恶见，才疏忏悔，全诸同侣，勿谤大圣，眼中气绝，当死之处，地陷为坑。He felt sorry the Shastra master died before he could popularize his work. So he said, I'm going to write more treatises to refute Mahayana teachings, okay, and to defame Vasubandhu, so that the Shastra master's theories could be handed down to coming generations. After he said that, he became delirious, and 5 tongues emerged from his mouth, and blood poured out all over his body. Realizing this pain was due to his evil views, he wrote a letter of repentance, advising his friends never to slander Mahayana teachings. He died after he said that. The earth sank into a pit at the place where he died. Okay, how are we all doing here? It's kind of hard to keep score here. So this, what's his name? Vimalamitra was sympathetic to the monk who wrote the Shastra, trying to respond to Vasubandhu's Abhidharma Kosha. Was it the Abhidharma Kosha? Abhidharma Nyaya Nusara. Abhidharma Kosha, correct. So Sanghabhadra wanted to refute, poke holes in Vasubandhu's extremely popular, extremely influential Shastra. He wrote an 800,000 word Shastra. Vasubandhu, and then he died. Vasubandhu read the Shastra, said it was pretty good. Oh, that's good. And he didn't take offense. He didn't fight back and all. He said, yeah, there are good points here. So Sanghabhadra died. They built a stupa. Along comes another monk who has read the Abhidharma Kosha. Then he read Sanghabhadra's refutation, and he decided to sign up on the wrong team. So I'm going to write more treatises to attack Vasubandhu's Abhidharma Kosha so that Sanghabhadra's work becomes popular. Well, he got instant karma, you could say. He became delirious. 5 snake-like tongues came out of his mouth and blood poured out all over his body. And he had enough self-awareness to be able to say, oops, maybe that was a mistake. I shouldn't attack the Mahayana. So he's going to write a letter telling his friends, don't do that. Too late, he died. Furthermore, the earth sank where he said that. So the earth is agreeing, not a good idea to slander the Mahayana and virtuous sages. How about that? Master Xuanzang was a witness to this and writes it down in his. So 这样子呢，这个是那个释亲菩萨写他的阿毗达摩论啊，阿毗达摩毗婆舍，毗婆舍很有影响力，很好的一个论，解释佛法啊，玄奘法师很提倡，很赞成。然后有一个叫 Sanghabhadra， 他认为他可以批评，所以他写了一篇很长很长80万个字的一个论，批评那个阿毗达摩诃舍。他很想跟释亲菩萨亲自辩论，就死了，不行。那然后巴苏班杜释亲菩萨读一读，他说：“哎，可以，有道理。”他不见怪，他不是不高兴。有人批评他写的，他是心量大的一个论述。他说有道理，不错不错。然后呢，第3个法师叫 Vimalamitra， 就说五垢城一个法师，他读到那个80万个字的批评阿毗达摩诃舍那篇论，他说：“哦，可惜啊，那个法师 我希望多几个人可以读他的就有辩论的这个论文。我发愿要多写，就把世亲菩萨那个阿毗达摩诃舍说倒了。我要提倡批评阿毗达摩诃舍那个党那个学派。这么说了，他口出了5个舌头，然后身体就流血。现世现报，他可能那个时候就说 ：“Oops， 错了，不应该批评大乘佛法，不应该有这种的诽谤。”太晚了，他写一封信说：“以后希望大家不要跟我这样颠倒。”太晚了，死了。玄奘大师就看到了，可惜。如果我们去这个十多岭在印度就是他们还保留你可以看到佛陀住的这个十多岭，然后有一个地方好像有个坑，那个地往下。那边的导游那个老法师他说：“你看那个呢，那是提婆达多，要害佛陀那个地方，他就生着堕地狱，就在那里。”我眼睛看到，有这么一回事吗？厉害。So you go to the Jade Grove in India, and the monks of the Mahabodhi Society are there, and it's where the Buddha, they preserved it where the Buddha actually taught. And there's a pit. It's the ground is like kind of like a bomb crater, sort of. And what's that? And the monk who was giving our tour says, "Oh, that's where Devadatta slandered the Buddha and tried to harm him, actually tried to kill him. He fell into the hells alive." Right there. That's where her eyes are. Oh my goodness. Let's make a wish, dedicate merit like a bodhisattva does. Here we go. Ready? May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. Okay, before we're done, we can bow to the Buddhas. 欢迎各位一起上佛行三问讯礼. Here we go. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. See you all next week. Amitofo, everybody. Bye now.